Hey, it's Dan, and welcome to Unified Gaming. So today guys, we are in the night market. This is a brand new group event coming to the Elder Scrolls Online. It's currently live, released on April 29th, and there's a lot to jump into. In this one though, we're going to focus primarily on getting as many leads as we can for this Mythic. This Mythic item is super good for PvP, and we are really going to try and do what we can for it. As always, if you get any questions about what we do, the builds, etc, then let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. And we're going to start by just running solo in the group just to see how it's like, what you need to know, and then really jump into kind of getting some groups if we can to just speed up the farm, because it can take a while. So if you like all that stuff, then obviously like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out more than you realise. And yeah, we're just going to kind of jump straight in. So I think we're good to go. Yeah, so if you want to see the build, what we are focusing on is using this Arcanist. It essentially uses the Arcanist, then a bit of Templar and a bit of Nightblade. It's kind of like one of the more DPS type builds. I have, however, thrown on some easy to get sets for this reason, so that way you can just make it if you're new to the game, because I appreciate not everybody has like full trial sets. So essentially we're using Deadly. We've got the Maelstrom thing, but I don't really use this much. One Slime Claw and then Order's Wrath. Like, it's quite an easy setup, and if you can get the Mythic for Loffies, it's fantastic. So if you can get this, really good. And you could put like Pale Order instead. If you want to see this in a Superstar, it looks like this. Or what I have on this thing, but I'll show that at the end. For the farm, we are basically focusing on this boss here. We need to kill this boss as much as we can. Other people are after this Mythic, so you want to rush to this as quick as you can. This zone is very dangerous, as you'll see. So there's lots and lots of like death. The bosses can be quite tough, and the enemies, you can see, have really high health bars. But even the mini bosses are really difficult. So what we're going to do is just go around and do some of the activities initially. Get some things going. You will notice things hit like an absolute truck here. So you really want to consider having like some healing or a big shield, and then really sort of building around this. And if you're not careful, as you will see, you can get swarmed very fast. So for this reason, this is a group area, and you want to like really factor that in. So if you are going to go solo like me, you will want to adapt your DPS build like normal and go for more of a tankier setup, because if you don't have that higher health pool, you are going to run into this issue. So the quick change is this, really simple. You go in, swap out your attributes to health. That will give you a bit more survivability. And then you're going to put on a way to kind of self-heal. So if you're a sorcerer, critical surge. If you're not a sorcerer or you don't want a subclass to it, you could then go down the route of using things like Pale Order, for example. And if you're really unsure, you could also use setups to give you kind of the Infinite Archive style stuff. So again, it's just really tanky builds, and you put on Pale Order with it. So we're going to jump back into the fray. And the other item that we're after is this Signet. So it's a brand new Mythic item, which is really cool. It is essentially a status effect build. So if you can get into a group, it will really help out, and try to use the activity finder. To do it, you just go to find group, event zone, and there's just like loads. So you can look through here, you'll be able to find someone here. But we're going to kind of focus now on actually staying alive. If you can stick with people, it will really help you out. So we're going to follow Matey Boy over here. And we're going to try and get essentially to where the other people are. Because with this kind of area, you want to be with other people, because things hit very hard. Hey, look at Artemis subscribing with Prime on Twitch. That's very kind of you, mate. Yeah, so the first thing you want to do, like if you're trying to farm this mythic, I've deliberately gone solo because I know some people might not have the easiest time getting groups together. It can be a bit hard. But you want to run in, just basically look to see where is everybody going. And then what a lot of people are now doing to farm this mythic quickly is they're kind of grouping and waiting for the boss to come round. Because this area is quite dangerous, especially solo. Like it is really, really bad. They're waiting for the boss to just go on his little route and we're going to kill it here. And this gives you the easiest way to kind of stay alive, get the chance for the drop. And what's really good with the leads on this one is it comes primarily from this boss. So you just have to kill it lots. You might notice in the bottom left my screen's slightly blurred. I've blurred the chat I have, just because obviously when people get frustrated it can be quite colourful. So big boss boy is coming around, so this is the thing we need to kill for the item that we want. And we have to kill it quite a few times in all honesty. And if he does target you, try to put out your shield. And if you do have access to Pale Order, like, do use it, especially if you're solo. Because he hits very, very hard, as you'll see. And he hit me with a beam. So that beam, it is quite rough. And this will happen from time to time. You will get hit quite hard by this. You just wait for someone to get you up. Now, we could run in if you want to try and respawn to get here quick. I'm hoping, touch wood, that somebody gets us up quickly. And if not, we will then put on Pale Order just to kind of make it a bit easier to survive. But you will see that when he did that channel, it did like 60k damage. So there we go. Look. So there are a few ways to stay alive, but putting on some health does help quite a bit. That dude got us up, which is fantastic. And this is all about, like, if someone goes down, like you're doing a trial, or like a pug trial especially, go for the resurrects. It really, really helps out. And if you can get the groups, so I'm going to get the res here, just because I know that if I drop and not somebody else drops, we are going to have issues. You've got to bash his green bulbs, by the way, because they do really, really drain your resources and do some damage. So you might be thinking, like, why would you go through all this hassle to get this mythic? This mythic basically allows you to create really fun builds. And not only that, they're actually really, really effective. So what it does is when you have this mythic, it increases the damage of your status effects. A bit like the Infinite Archive focus, the focus script. And essentially your status effects end up becoming really good, like, damage skills. So see, Matey Boy is on one of us, so we're going to try and move around. So he is after me. I've gone for my big shield. And you might notice with the beam, sometimes you just want to, like, push it if you can, because you will get the shield. And then we can heal whilst we've got that going, just to keep us alive. Oh, he's gone for a big, go for that bash there. Try and get my beam on, get that shield going. So I've pulled him away from the group just so they can get all the people up. And I said, this is a real group effort. This is not an easy fight. And I've deliberately chosen, as I said, quite simple to get, like Deadly Strikes and Order's Wrath. Like, these are easy to get. But yeah, if you haven't seen the Mythic, honestly, it is so good. And this zone, like, I know if you've seen the forums, there's been a lot of people going, it's too hard, it's too difficult. But it's really fun. Like, we've not had, like, things in the game that have been challenging for quite some time. And this is something that you really is, you have to actually work as a group. Like, the things hit really, really hard. As you'll see, that person just got, like, lasered to death by the boss. And sometimes it is better just to wait for that res. Or he was going for it and then he got eaten by a spider. And then if you get here, what you can just put on here is just like, put on like LFG, for example, or plus, and people kind of add you quite quick. So we're just getting a res from somebody, which is fantastic. Oh, so close. I think there's a good chance that people might wipe. Because it's just that dude at the back left alive. Yeah, so the people are trying to get up. They are, and it is a difficult fight. And if you are worried, if you can just do the waste shrine and just like revive and just quickly run around. So hopefully he can grab me, and then I'm gonna go straight for the reses now. I am. Grab this person up here. Don't want that one. That one's floating. So we're just going to focus on keeping alive, because everything bashes little green bulbs. These are the things that get people killed. Like if you don't kill them quickly or bash them, you are going to die very fast. So for like a mythic farm, this isn't too bad. Like you've got to do this 5 times. I've moved around to grab, he's respawned. And then I would suggest if you do have access to pale order, like this will make your life much easier. Because there's not an issue of like DPS, we have enough damage. Oh, that hit very, very hard. So hopefully we get our first lead from this. But yeah, if you've done the night market, I'm curious to see what you guys think. And like, you could just wait for the respawn, but you could just go for the wave shrine and just drop down. So the reason why people come to this spot is because you can just jump down from here and then get back into the fight. So yes, we've got that like cooldown, and we can't do anything for like 10 seconds, roughly. But we're still close enough to get this like kill XP and this like kill count. So we'll get the credit and then we can actually, hopefully, get a kind of chance of the drop. So we had a person trying to heavy attack us, let's bash that quickly. But if you've played the night market, what do you guys think of it? So we're being beamed to death by that. It just so much damage. So much damage. Like, what do you think of it? Do you think the actual, like, do you think it's too hard, or do you think it's a good difficulty? I'm all in favour of it, personally. So we're going to pop down again. And then what we can then do, once this thing's died, just it's not far off, it's got 6 million health, so it's pretty there. We can then look to try and tweak the build, put on like pale order, make our life a bit easier. But I want to show that like it's possible, even if you just grab your DPS build and chuck in some health. Like you'll be able to get some kills as long as other players are here. Can I bash that? There we go. So it's down to 4 million, which is awesome. Oh, that's a big amount of snare, that is. Do you notice we are literally just spamming the beam as like a huge, huge shield. Oh, I think we're gonna... Get out of that heal. That death, sorry. Big. And it's dead. Okay, so we've got the thing. And we've got a lead. So we've got a first lead for this. And it shows you it's quite easy if you do this. You also get some sets that are quite decent trial sets. So if you like after a set, they go, I don't actually have it because I can't get a trial group together. Or, you know, I've just never really had the right drop. This is another way to get them. Repair kit, trade bars, some like cool stuff, just cosmetics, ink. So so much stuff. But we are here for that script. Now, the one thing I will say, and the video title, like, not to be clickbaity, is about how do you get to lead quickly then. A lot of people I see who farm leads for mythic items often end up farming like one lead, then scribing, like going out, scrying it, and repeating. And the issue with that is that you can end up getting duplicates of the same thing. So the way to like do it smart is you want to make sure that as you're actually like farming and trying to get this item, you are really focusing on getting all of the leads and then actually dig them up. Because if you do it the other way around, you are going to have issues. And now that that boss is dead, essentially, you can either go to one of these small areas or you can wait. So a lot of people are going to stay around here just killing the ads, getting more points. And if you're on the blue people, you're going to get loads and loads and loads of rewards at the end. Like PCEU, we're on 30 million almost, which is obscene. So it's a good way to get XP. It's a good way to contribute. I've done some on PCNA, so that's why over here is a little bit sparse. Yeah, so once these are dead, we might have a little cheeky pop to the side, grab the pale order, I think is in my bank. And then we'll be able to have some more like passive healing. So let's see if we can get our little man out. Wrong person, sorry. There he is. And if you have a companion, chuck on a companion is going to help. There it is. Oh, Pale Order, love it. This is a really good mythic for this kind of area. So I deliberately left this as it was. We're going to take this one off now. And we're going to put on the Deadly when we get a chance. You might need to dye it or just kill the next round of ads. Oh, we've got a big heavy coming to mid, there you go. And yes, by doing like the Pale Order, we are going to lose some damage. And depending on your group size, you might go, actually, it's not worth it, there's too many people nearby. So we are going to shoot these quickly. Once they've dropped, we can then go and put on the Mythic, because it will help quite a bit. So yeah, my plan with the Mythic, thinking about what we're going to do when we get this new Mythic, is I want to focus on... Oh, lots of fire. Lots of ads there. I want to focus on making a status like warden build. That's what I'm really excited about. Because we've got some really cool things we could do with this. Let's put on Deadly, and let's put on Pale Order. So what Pale Order does is it restores 20% of your damage done, but this is decreased by 4% per ally you are grouped with. So the reason why we're not grouped is because we get the full healing of this, and then we also get the healing of other people. So you can't be healed by anybody else but yourself, your pet, or your companions. So this gives you a lot of healing. A lot of healing. If there's loads and loads and loads of people, then you might want to be better focusing on perhaps using Philosophy. That's another option. Just going to put on my companion. I do have one. Here she is. And then the boss will respawn soon. So the idea is that we're going to essentially focus on doing this. So we've got 1 out of the 5 leads already, so that's, you know, we're a fifth of the way already. And whilst we're waiting, I'll show the Mythic on screen, like the one we're trying to farm on PCEU. It's a very, very cool Mythic. It's a Signet of Shattered Paths. So I will pop into that with Sneak here. I will. Just hide just over here, out the way from all the ads. Let the people do what they need to. So, with this Mythic, essentially, your status effects become like DPS skills, or dots is the best way of viewing them. So it increases the damage done with status effects by 1% for every ult you have, up to 170. Now in PvP, this is halved. So you've essentially got like an 85% dot increase. Where this really shines, it's on classes where you can then stack additional damage sources. So like Sorcerer, because they're quite a good dot-based class with all their passives, and their skills can make really, really good use out of this. Warden has some really good stuff with Brittle. If you use Dragikin's Grip, which is a set you can get, that increases all your damage by 330. This stacks with that. You can see how this becomes quite powerful on very niche builds. So that's why we want this, because it's quite a fun set. If you've played Infinite Archive, and you know what Focus Efforts, I think it's called, is like, you will know how powerful that is. Like, it's really, really powerful. And this is basically that. I just need to charge this. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna put a little poll up to see if you think this Mythic is worth the grind. Because I know some people are probably on the fence with this personally. Yeah, the healing's so much better. With Pale Order, it's like so much better. Because you can actually like have reliable healing. I will put the poll up in a second. And because there's so much like trash and we're doing so much cleave damage, we're just healing constantly. Which is super, super good. But let me put that poll up quick. Do you think that Mythic is worth it? So the options will be, yes, it looks busted, kind of, but not sure always. Nah, better stuff. So do you think it's really worth us getting this Mythic item? And the poll is on YouTube, so if you like hop onto YouTube, you would see it there. So just heal quick. Zoom, 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 zoom. And we're just waiting for the like boss to respawn. It takes a little while, like 10 minutes or so. So yeah, we've made a few tweaks to the build already, just by literally chucking on extra health and Pale Order. Like, our survivability is way higher. That is, I've got the little Lich Crystal coming up. Yeah, so he's dead. Let's get Isabel up. You'll notice people are running back here, they are, to try and get to this spot. So this is like the farm spot. Now you can, whilst you are waiting, move around and look for like the other mini bosses to kill. Or you could just be lazy like what we're doing and just sit here. But if you're after that XP to get more rewards and stuff, then by all means, like, feel free to jump into groups and try and kill them. Because like, you can really help and get some cool stuff out of this event. Got a big hit coming this way. Oh, I love Pale Order. Pale Order is so clutch in this place. So good. Oh, I've got it stunned. But yeah, if you got questions, I'm curious. The score's going to hopefully that boss will be back here soon. So we'll just keep beaming them. So this is like where people often go, basically. And we've got 1 out of the 5 all ready for this. There's a grapple point we can get up to later on, which is quite cool. The people are just waiting for the respawn. Should be any time now, really. And if you want to stay alive much easier for this place, put on more AoEs and things that last a long time, like caltrops, for example, because you'll get healing constantly from that. We've got obviously Wall of Elements. You've got an AoE from most dots that you can chuck on the floor. So look, they're all getting ready for the respawn. So it is imminent. So if we look at the scribing, it is this one here we are trying to get. People are just getting ready. We're just hiding. But yeah, the Mythic can be a bit of a pain to farm, but we've killed it once, we've got 1 already, so it's got a really high drop rate, like really, really high. And as I said, don't dig it up until you've got all 5. That is like the big tip I can give you. Thankfully, we have so much like healing from our AoEs that we can like do quite a good amount of damage to these and stay alive. But you get hit with big AoEs like that, you still die. So we'll just respawn at the way shrine and pop down in a second. And I said there is a bit of a cooldown, like you can't speed up massively. But this is what I found to be like the easiest way to do it. Just wait near here and drop down here to kill it. And just rinse and repeat. And unfortunately, a bit like the Infinite Archive talk of the last Aided King, there's only a few places that actually drop this thing. And like this big spider is basically it. So we're just going to wait. Some other people are getting ready for it too. And if you want, you can do like the mini games whilst you want to just have a bit of fun. Because there's lots to do in here, but we're going to focus, as I said, on killing the big spider when he comes back. And then the plan with the Mythic is to make a build that uses it on probably a warden. I haven't done a warden build in quite some time, and I do really enjoy them. I'll pop down and just see what's going on here. As long as we keep the AoEs down, we actually have pretty good healing. So we're going to throw down the AoEs again, because they do help keep us alive an awful lot. And then he hits us with a 20k hit, which is oof. So whilst we're waiting, we're going to look at some of the little mini games. And that spider boss, I said, will respawn. It just takes a long time to respawn. That's the only downside. Like, it's very cool. Very, very cool. It just takes a lot. So we're going to have a little wander around, see what else we can do whilst we wait. I want to have a look at the bit behind us. Oh, the bleed. Bleed was dirty. Bleed was dirty. There's so much damage. So much damage to the bleed. We'll pop down here in a moment, so we will. So this is a little like spider mini game, which is quite cool. And essentially you have to like kill the spiders. So you push buttons to burn them. There you go. That boss is due any moment now. Whilst we're waiting, I'll go back to the base and just repair my gear quickly, because he is due any moment. And I don't want to miss the next respawn. And it might be like when you're trying to get this item yourself, you just go in and essentially, if the boss is alive, kill it and then basically come back every now and again. We went with the ruckus people, with these people, sorry. Like everybody's gone with the blues. Because people like their stuff, their vibe. We have a good old chat with the person here. So we'll pop back in and see if we can find the spider boss again.
The venerable Malto asks only their ravenous curiosity.
There's some more reward for that. Now, from what I understand, the boxes, they can give you a chance to get different leads, but I don't think they give the lead we're looking for. But you do get some cool stuff. Take the resources. This is cool axe. But any lead that you get here, like you want to pick up, because well, the things you're going to get is less of a duplicate. Yeah, so you can see he's not back yet. I'm going to go have a little look around to see, can we daily bit we can grab here. This quest has too many spiders. Breakneck says, eat those spiders. Honestly, they're like everywhere. We've killed the big one. We're literally just waiting for the calamitous Roska, the warp spider. Well, like in the PvP players, like I don't want to die, but you can't help it when you're by yourself, and there's that many. So I think whilst we're waiting, we can repair the spider deterrent device. Let's do that. We'll pop down. Get that cheeky repair. And we've got to go to the other side now. And if you are waiting, like it might be worth, in all honesty, just doing the mini stuff. And if you're worried about like fighting and getting around to do this, you could go to your subclassing and then like grab the shadow skill line from Nightblade and get access to Cloak. This would just let you move around freely, which is super good. Or you can go to Vampire Stage 4. That would also let you move around freely. So that when it's like this and you're by yourself, you can make a tanky build, you could stay alive for sure. It takes so long that you might just have more luck. As I said, just swapping out one of your damage lines, grabbing the shadow just to get around and do some of the quests while you're waiting. And because of the whole, you can respec in the menu now, great quality of life feature, like we can do this in the area, which is super, super convenient. We'll grab this. And just essentially use that between the packs of enemies where we need to go. Nope, either a... And if you want to put like a Nightblade, but like dial up Bray and something, it's even better. That's repaired. Jump up here where it's a little bit safer. And we find a collection box at the Rooftop Oasis. There it is. And we got a bit another like little quest done, which is awesome. Again, like it's really easy to move around the zone and do stuff with Cloak. And you're kind of going to be doing this whilst you're just waiting for the essentially the spider to respawn. Grab that. There's our 15k. Oh, he's getting attacked. I was going to help that dude. But that's probably not a good idea. And then one of the things you can do in this area, if you haven't like seen, is if you go through, you can start to like focus on doing these. But these are like sort of mini little quests, essentially like challenges. And as you progress through, you get like keys, and you get like more and more stuff. So if you want to progress through and actually do these challenges, and then progress through up, you can obviously get access to better stuff. Or you can just come in for the mythic item that we're looking for. So we're going to explore the zone a bit more. See if we can find more like daily quests within here. So they're just scattered around. Arachnus and Faden's 10 seconds. So we've got one of these big boys. So you'll see the little spiders coming down the hill. So we have somebody else here who's on a warden build, I think, a tank. So we're just gonna try and kill this dude here. And then we're gonna like try and burn the spiders in the little mini game. Just checking we've not missed the boss spawn. So everything's like super tanky here. Super, super tanky. And hits very, very hard. Okay. Oh, we missed the thing sadly. That's okay though. We're gonna keep exploring, see if we can find. Oh, that is another boss. There's not the boss we were after though. We're after the other one that's up there. We're just going to cloak through these quick. The boss that we want is normally around here. feel for that dude. He followed us. Yeah, he's so gonna die. He's so gonna die. Yeah, he's on a tank, to be fair. But, you know, with the Mythic, it is just killing bosses. So I think we can have a look at some of the other ones. Whilst we wait. I said everything is just so tanky. Oh, 19k hit. There it is. 19k hit. It will do it. It will do it for us. So we've got one of the hardest one. We've did the thicker one. So if you have a look at the leads we got, where is it? So this is the Ocean Ring Mound. This comes from the Calamitous boss. The Starlight Oil comes from the big boss. The Flickering Charcoal comes from the big boss. We then need a Fractured Prismatic Gem, which is bosses generally here. And then the Nugget of Aetheric Gold, it's just bosses and Glorious Reward Coffers. So whilst we're waiting for the big boss to spawn, because it does take a while, I'm going to have a little look around to see can we find any people doing some of these other bosses. And maybe we can try and get some of the other ones we're missing. I would also stress as well that if you are in the Europe and stuff, it's very late. So at the moment it's 11 o'clock in the UK. It's about 1, between 12 and 1 in Europe, depending where you are. So as you get kind of this late in the evening to farm, it's not the best time to farm. But as I said, you want to jump in. If you can kill the big spider when he walks around, do the ASAP. The fact the corpse has disappeared means that it's gonna be here soon, hopefully. I'll just pop down and have a little look, see. Everything's so deadly. So deadly. Yeah, so I killed the spider earlier on the stream, which you saw when I got a lead. So the fact that it's gone, that's in the body, means that hopefully it shouldn't be much longer, and it should appear on the map. So whilst we're waiting, I'm going to check some of the other bosses. So we've got this one over here, which is the Flesh Atronach. And here you can drop one of those we need. Obviously he has a lot of health. And ideally there'll be other people with us, but that's not going to be an option. So I'm going to quickly just respec one of my skills and get some extra healing. So I'm going to go for the Sorcerer, go for Storm Calling, get rid of the Shadow. And we literally just want Crit Surge. That's all we want. We want the extra healing. This will make quite a big difference for us. And then obviously you can put on an armor buff and use Hurricane instead of the Cloak. We also get access to liquid lightning, so just anything with passive healing. We might need to put on some more health, so put on like a health set, so we'll chuck that there. We want that one again because we're trying to stay alive. Okay. Oh, the spider's back. That's nope. We have to switch. Go straight for the spider. When this happens, and you're going to get ready to kill a boss, it is better to mark that because that's the thing that everybody's going to go for in a moment. This is the thing you need to kill. So the fact that this is ready, we want to die, and people are going to go to the middle here to fight it. And what you can do to try and get people in, you can obviously go to the area and say, look, Calamitous is up again, so you can put in like zone chat. I've just put one in like this area, and I'm going to go back to the main plaza, put it in there too, just so that way people know. And if you've got guild chat and stuff, you can do this. Then I'm going to pop back in and see if we can get another kill. Because if we can get another kill, that'd be really, really nice. So obviously we've been doing the precinct.
We seek in scurrying between darkened corners and planar folds.
We're looking for that there. He's going to end up going around the whole area, and you want to try and fight him here because you've got a respawn point here that you can drop down to keep killing him. So what people often do is just run. We want to get close enough to it so when we die we can just respawn in the right place. And I said if there's not anyone in this area, or this boss kind of gets stuck somewhere, you know he's obviously fighting somebody. So he's like roaming. So he should be back. And then it is kind of either coming in with a group if you've got access to a group, or if you're doing like solo like I am, just waiting for people to turn up. It's not the most efficient use of time, but it can help. Just want to go and repair my gear. And some food as well.
Delight in the casual atmosphere the glittering girls put together for this light-hearted celebration.
I like this person here, by the way. Just on a side note, I like that how they built the scene and the personalities. All of those. And if you've got access to Parch. And again, this is a different version. Some people are fighting over here possibly, so we could also check there. Again, go to that ritual skirmish. So if you can't find people in the first one, you can check the other zones, and essentially you want to go between the two areas. So we've got a bit of a walk to get over there, sadly. And like, if you've done it and you've got access to the things, you can go through, but we don't have that yet on this character. So I saw a blue little thing up there. There you go. We'd have to follow all this round. The fact that boss is going in a circle means it's probably being attacked, and hopefully we can get a cheeky drop. So we're going to have to go through Yeah, that's what the bits are for the relic, and they let you take shortcuts, which is really cool. But that kind of stuff looks awesome. So we're going to run up here. Epoch says he likes the difficulty of the night market. I personally do. I think it's good. As a community, we have asked for a very long time for harder content, and we've not always had that, in all honesty. So we've asked for harder content, they've given us harder content, and in all honesty, I think that's a good thing. We're going to just see. Yeah, nobody else is fighting him. They're down here. So we got eaten by him, which is, I like it. It's just really cool. The mechanics on it are awesome. Like, we can escape if we want. And he's eating us again. So we've deliberately put loads of just hots in a pale order. Epoch said, I wouldn't want all of ESO to be this hard, but nice to have something like this. Yeah, well, I think with the challenge difficulty, you have that choice now. We're getting close to the little pillars. But you know, having these little difficulty spikes is quite cool. There's a very cool animation as well. Like, this mechanic is very interesting because you can see this person is like going, why can't I hurt them? And obviously he's not in the attack phase yet. And these people are like trying to work out what they need to do next. So it's really cool. Like, if you're not sure, there's a lot of mechanics going on. So I know some people have gone like, oh, they've got a lot of reused content, but like being swallowed by a giant sand ripper is pretty cool to me. I don't think I've seen anything else like this in ESO. Yeah, it is almost dead. We're going to pop out now, okay? I need to get eaten again. I'm so slowed. Busy going for the middle, wasn't he? That's so annoying. There he is.
Get back, bees.
Come on. But no, getting the lead, it can take a while, but it's so worth it. I just think it's quite a cool mechanic. The other people are now coming in to help. Oh, I've got hit with that. So you might be going, why do I have so many AoEs? It's for this reason. Because I can literally just, like, the healing is insane. As long as we keep those AoEs on, and those like dots, our healing is really, really hard, like high. How about a stab? That's so annoying. So Andres says, what's the best way to farm section points? 1 second. Open the window, sorry. I'm just going to just quickly check the other side, just see if people are going for that, because it might be a quick one just to jump into. For the points, in all honesty, like, a lot of it just comes quite easily. Like if you do the little quests, that's the main part I found, is quests, the daily stuff in it, like the little blue ones. Oh, that's where he was. He was very close. Just pop check this one quickly. The fact that's walking around tells me I don't think people are fighting that one. I'll try and get into the middle and see if there's a group of people waiting. Yeah, if there's a group of people here, we'll wait. I can see a few people nearby. But you want to be on this side. Like down here. Yeah, sadly you can't do that. Yeah, we weren't meant to be that side. I'm gonna check the Doom Ripper again quick. Well, I've just fallen down. Yeah, it doesn't look like... Ghost form? Look, we've got to run to these void tears quickly. This would be a lot easier with cloak.
What do you say to some celebratory sweets?
I'm running out of stam one night. Oh, we're running out of stab. I took a wrong turn. I was about to go left earlier. It is cool that they have these unique mechanics though. Yeah, we're gonna get eaten by the darkness. You got to follow the little void tears, which takes some getting used to. I'm gonna check the other one quick and just see about the lizard. And if people got it any lower, it was very low. Andreas says best way with the section points. Honestly, I'm just doing the daily bits and just playing it just earns them quite naturally anyway. To be honest, like I wouldn't rush to farm them. We'll go to that one there. Hopefully there's people here. But it might be one that, like, if you can't get on and get enough people when it's active, you might have more luck just doing it like at peak. It's like when more people are on. So at the moment you can tell it's quite late and there's just not enough people in here, in all honesty, to get the ones that we want. He's got away. Burn the little spiders.
Stendar sees Satan to your west.
I like this mechanic. This mechanic's like from Maelstrom Arena. So if you've done Maelstrom Arena, there's a little spider mechanic. Epoch says he normally starts around 9 and there seems to be a good amount. Yeah, I think I might need to jump on probably tomorrow and finish it off. Oh, there's somebody else here who's going to start to help. That's good. Okay. With 2 of us, that might be doable. Let's burn those. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I might have to do. So breaking it says if like the instances are just empty where you are, you can try and change. And I think we'll do that first. But otherwise, I might have to say let's come back tomorrow. Like the farming is really easy. It is sitting near the respawn point and kill the bosses. It's quite a simple thing to do. I'm going to respawn, I think. And then we'll travel to somebody else in a different guild who might have a instance that's a bit more active. So like he's in there, so we could travel to them. And although they're in the same region, in the same zone, if it's a different instance, which most likely it is, we can then get more people, more kills. So you might have to also instant hop as well to try and get quicker boss spawns. So we'll check where these ones are. So we'll try this side. This is a little lizard one. fact that he's not there means that somebody has killed him recently. So hopefully, touch wood, the other side has more in there. We might just have to start doing this and just hopping. Yeah, there's a boss there. Race the burner spider nests where you can. So nobody's here for this one. So we'll check the other side. But it could just be that it is very, very late in Europe. But to the video like title and what we're trying to do, essentially what you want to do is hop in, find the big boss, kill it quickly, and you want to get those 3 leads. Once you have those, the rest of them just come from just playing the area naturally, killing smaller bosses, getting some of the little quests done. You get given coffers, they have leads in them too. So I would say, like, go to each one, check each boss, kill it if you can. If not, maybe check a different area. And then if you still have an issue, maybe try a different time zone and like try to do it at like a different time. And then if you go, okay, I still can't get people want to do it, what can I then do instead? Well, it might be that actually you need to wait till it drops normally. Johnny said he got one from the daily faction. Yeah, so there's a bit like the Talk of the Last Aided King, there's specific drop locations for them, which is where the confusion lies. Oh, okay, it's up there. I went the wrong way. I was meant to go up that way. And so each boss that can drop leads, and they all have like different leads attached to them. So you, in order to get the mythic, you have to go for all of them. So it's not just let's hit the same boss again and again and again. So like the Osin ring mold, that comes from just Calamitous bosses, as does the Starlight one, and as does the charcoal rubbings. But the prismatic gem is just any boss, and then the nugget of Aetherich gold is bosses and the glorious reward coffers. So you kind of want to do the activity to get the coffers for that one, and then just keep killing the bosses again and again and again. So there's a skirmish just there. I do think the stone is very, very like intricate. And very, very intricate. There's a lot going on to it, a lot more than you realise. Yeah, Breakneck was saying you can check but the skirmish is by using right and B. It also lets you see the score, and these are here, so like you need a key for these ones. But these ones you can just like do any boss. And like these lets you find with the different bosses if you want to kill them. So these are all available right now. These need keys. And if you push the menu, you can then see which ones are coming up. So at the moment, you've got the Brood Skirmish, and you've got the Ritual Skirmish, and you've got the Descender Skirmish. But this one's obviously inactive at the moment. But when you go into the menu, like it is in the scoreboard bit. So like, yes, you can do all these whenever you want. But if you focus on these ones, these are the ones that get the stuff quickly when people will focus these. So this is a good way to go, okay, where can I find this boss? There's probably going to be people there. So like if you go to the Brood Skirmish, which is currently active, and that's in the Skittering precinct. If you're unsure, you go, okay, it's that Skittering precinct. They're all different names. And that's where the zone can get a little bit confusing because the maps look very similar. But we're going to rush over, if we can, and try and get to that skirmish in the middle. The jump pad up there. Again, we can quickly check while we're safe. We'll zoom in, it will show us where it is. Skittering precinct. So if you notice, we're in Sorrow's friend. So it's very easy, as I was saying, to get into the wrong one. And I do it often, because they look so similar. So Skittering's that one there. So the north side. And the more you do the zone, the more like you'll get familiar with this. And we need to get into the middle. So burn the spiders as we go along. And our fire has run out. So I don't know there'll be people where, yeah, it's just a time of day. So like, although this is active, there is nobody there. So we could check this one here and go, okay, what about this place? Go to the parch, so let's go to the parch. And then if we can't find many people, what we can then do is either hop onto the PTS quick just to show you the Mythic, because it is really cool, it's a really fun Mythic, or we can kind of like call it here and I can jump on later in the week and kind of finish off the farm. Like we've got one of them already, and if you farm Talk of the Last Aelid King, which I have, it's painful, not gonna lie. It's very good though. This taking 5 to 10 hours at most, compared to 40-50 hours of the Infinite Archive. This isn't that bad. So again, it's skirmishers there. If you do get the relics, which will make your life much easier, you can just take shortcuts, like so much quicker. Do get them. If you don't, then you may want to be like a Nightblade, just cloak through the enemies. Just let my stam go up quickly. Oh, I can see people here. This is a good sign. This is a very good sign. Okay, so we might be able to actually get another lead. We might have to do a bit more, like just hop in between different zones, checking the skirmishes, and just essentially like instant swapping. I teleported away. Move out the red circles. Red circles are death. Oh my, no. So, do you not like the red circles? Do you not like... Johnny was like, that was a fun fight. The fights are good. They're well placed. And like with this game, if you've got friends that, you know, if you have friends, not to be, it's really good for group play. Because like there are quite interesting mechanics that you have to follow. So like, the tank's obviously trying to bring him out and to get him electrocuted, which is awesome. But if you go for it, you take like huge damage and you get stuck. So if you don't play the mechanics, it's really, really difficult. A Breakneck said, I've mostly been soloing daily quests and doing mini games on multiple characters. Just hit 5k favour today. Joined a couple trial guilds to kill the bosses. Yeah, I think that's what it's about. Like this is like one where yes, you can have a really meta build and stuff. I need to put down some stuff to get some healing. Where did the people go? Oh, there it is, so close. I'm gonna follow the people. But like, you are gonna have times where you are gonna die. Let's run back. To be fair, that was really close, that was. There's a lot of people here. Yeah, getting 5k favour, that is quite a big chunk, that is. So if you notice on what we've done on here, I've basically just gone for like loads of AoE dots. Just so that healing is just like really, really high for us. Johnny said he joined a group, took about 8 hours to get them all, that's really good timing. Like, it's not too bad. It's just, if you can find a group of people to do it with and just bash it out, it's definitely worth doing. Oh, we have decent damage. But yes, we've gone for a bit more survivability with the extra health. Burn that down. Need to move away. He's got an all. This is just like lightning everywhere now. Need to go for my shield and get the healing going. I've got so many ads on me, it's not funny. Like so many. Trying to get out of the circle, but I just get snared so heavily. Fulmination, 106k. In this situation, it's probably quicker if I respawn and run down. Yeah, Johnny's like, there's so much going on with that boss. It really is. It's definitely a lot harder than the spider one. Like, in my opinion, the spider one is a lot. Still alive. I don't know if anybody. Oh, there's more people this time, which is awesome. I don't know if. Oh, there's the other things around here as well. Yeah. It's a shame they're not going to fight each other. That big one's going to fight these two. No, but what I was going to say, this makes me feel like if you've done a trial progression group, it feels like that, but like a mini version of it. So like you do it and you die quick, and then you have to like repeat. Ebook says I realised Twitch drops are on, so you switch to Twitch from YouTube. Fair enough. I don't know enough about Twitch to like give an informed choice in that. I just know drops are on and people can get stuff, and that's about it. Oh, they hit so hard. They hit so hard. My health absorption was disgusting. It was like 20,000 health absorption that I had to heal through before I could even get healed. Okay, this is where it gets to the tricky part now. Imagine doing this in first person. That'd be insane. Like doing this in first person, I don't think would be a good idea. Go on, Isabel. I'll get you up. So you've noticed we're focusing Sephira. We are trying to get rid of her quick. Oh, we've got a good chance in this one, I think. Oh, she's gone for lightning stuff, which is very, very helpful. When you get hit by that lightning, you just get snared so bad.
Dendar was with us in that fight.
So we managed to get out of the area this time. Oh, we've got a good chance this. I'm hoping. I feel confident about this one. Oh, so I want my lead. I want lead. When people go down, that is not encouraging. You might be going like, why am I constantly like switching from beam to just chuck out an AoE? Because we have access to Power Order, this is how we're staying alive. So I'm constantly chucking down AoEs. So then my healing is like always really high. So if I get hit, I've got about 4,000 or 5,000 health coming in a second, which makes a big difference if things go south. Because all it takes is like a bad decision and then we just all die. Oh, he's dead. Come on. Hopefully, we get a lead. Got a repair thing. We've got a skill scroll. So focus your strength and resolve to gain major brutality sorcery. Companion bow. A night pack. Yeah. It's not what I was after, but I'll take it. So really hoping for a lead. It was a good fight though. That like, although I didn't get what I want, I did find the fight quite satisfying. I need to clear my inventory on this character. I have so much like junk on it. And if you're ever unsure where to go, just follow the crowd.
What do you say to some celebratory sweets?
I love it when they've got a tank that pulls stuff in. There's so much AoE in that group, isn't there? Like, so much AoE. He's on the little ice one. Johnny said, I know most people will be DD, so I've got my healer or a tank for the market for the weekend. Yeah, having a healer or a tank is going to make a huge, huge difference. I'll let him on there. The meat market. And what we can do, like if we're not sure what to do, you could just go and go, what's active? This starts in 26 minutes. Johnny says the mini games for buffs are interesting. I think the whole zone, like, I think not to say it's a problem, I think the zone has a lot of mechanics going on, so on like the surface it can be a little bit hard to follow or understand, if that makes sense. But it means there's a lot of depth and a lot of replayability. So that although it's like, oh, where do I go next, etc, etc. There's Matey Boy. He's on our friend list. I like his little crown. I'm going to just check the other areas in a moment, I think. Just see. So these are all like inactive. Ronnie says, how's your progress? Just got to do 3 dungeons and a trial. 1 piece left for the Mythic house. For Mythic house, fully unlocked except bank. Ooh, that sounds good. It's not too bad then. I think the zone's only come out like 3 days ago, roughly. So the fact that you've got that much done is great. But there's another like 2 weeks left on this. I've got one of the leads, which I was after, from one of the bigger bosses. I'm going to see if people are fighting the Doom Ripper one. If they are, I'll go for that. It comes down to, can you get a group? And doing it at midnight, it's not the best time to get a group on EU, in all honesty. I'm going to say not, because it... Johnny's like, yeah, it's hard to group up that late. Oh, it's like nearly impossible at this time. But I get it, it's partly coming on late. I was busy with real life, so these things happen. Yeah. I've done some of them already. I didn't get a lead from it, so that's a bit... I just had to keep like RNG it. It's a cool zone though, really cool zone. Yeah, I'm gonna die and respawn elsewhere quick. Yeah, so some of them, there's a lot of like misinformation out on there, Ronnie, about kind of where they drop. From what I've seen, again, it's not scientifically based, it's just anecdotal. That they seem to be tied to like specific bosses, so each one has its own like source, and some of them are shared. So like there's one that drops from boxes and some bosses, but like that one can only drop from like the box or those bosses. You don't get the other ones there. So it literally is just go and kill everything and hope you get what you want. So like what I found to be most helpful is when you get a lead, don't dig it up, like wait until you get all 5. It sounds silly, but it's very easy to like dig it up and then get a duplicate. Yeah, so there's not many people there. I'm gonna just see if there's... Let's try this person. So like what you can do is jump between the different instances and just see how busy they are. But the Mythic itself is really, really cool. Like for PvP, it's fantastic. we've got this nice cool little buff as well. So the hunt for gold continues, your speed is increased, and you get 25% more gold. You'll wait until after I do the dungeons and trial. I think if you're on like NA, it makes sense. Johnny says the one concern he has is will there be enough people late in the weeks to get it? To that question, that's a very legitimate concern. Oh, this one's now active. Sorry's friend. So we need to go for there. Okay, let's go to Sorry's friend. They have said, as Bethesda and ZeniMax have said, that they're going to make the Mythic be sourceable in other ways. Now, they haven't said how. My feeling is something to do with Infinite Archive. It would kind of make sense. The Sorrow's friend. And so if you don't get the one that you like, if you don't get it this time, you are going to have to wait, in all honesty, for them to put the patch out. That then gives this another way to be sourced. The only place I can really see is Infinite Archive. It's the most similar thing to this. And having done that, and getting Talk of the Last Aided King, I can tell you, and most people who've done it can also tell you, how painful it actually is. It's a very, very, very good Mythic. Oh yes, they're here. Awesome. Let's go join the friends. Yeah, Ronnie says, we'll reset if you don't find what you need and just redo it for a new group. I think that's what I'm going to do. When it's this late, I'm going to suggest that, like, if you can't get a group or people doing an activity quickly, just switch instance and you might find something that you need. Little red orbs. I'm going to try and like burst this down quick. But hopefully we get another one from here. Oh, he's back. Let's get to the next pillar. When there's this many enemies, your healing with Pale Order is insane. Like, it's like, oh, he hits hard though. He is hard. 45k and then 27k. Oh, he has a very quick revives. Breaknecks like those night terrors hurt. Yep. What's quite cool though with this system, like if you've not done any trials before in the game, this teaches you a lot of mechanics they use in trials. So if you ever like going, I don't really know what to do in a trial, or are a bit apprehensive, this is a really good place to learn. Because A, the difficulty is really high, which means if you can do this, you'll be fine in a trial. And it also means as well, oh, got hit with a big AoE. It also means that you get to see mechanics you wouldn't normally see. He's going for a cheeky res. Can he get the res? I think he will. Nope. He was like so close. He was so close to getting the res. When I respawn and drop down, it's quite a walk back. I want to do it though, just I think it might be quicker to do that. Yeah. Because if we all die, they wipe.
Cover your magicka if you can.
Okay. Defeat the Spiral Descender. Like the group DPS is pretty decent. There is a lot of us hitting it though. Try and get rid of this stone before he gets them all back up again. Yeah, he hits so hard, doesn't he? And if you come here, you're not sure what to do, just spam AoEs and you're going to be helpful in some way. Like what we're trying to do is focus on getting the pillars down because that stops him like taking damage. So over here on the pillar. So you might be going like, why am I using Crit Surge and also the Arcanist like Herald of the Tome? And basically it comes down to that Crit Surge gives me more healing, which when you're by yourself it does make quite a big difference if there's no healer in the group. Because all that green stuff is me, all those heals on the side, because there's all the AoEs. And that's like Crit Surge proccing, that's Hail Order going crazy.
That should leave an impression. Now we can walk away from it.
Yeah, I think this one should die quite quickly. It's getting lower health. Oh, that hit hard, that did. That tank's done a good job though, isn't he? Like, he's done a good job keeping this busy. John says mono is still better for PvP. Monomyth is fantastic. Although they are... Monomyth is very, very good for PvP, but they are looking to change Rallying Cry, which is a slightly different set I get. But that's going to change how you build with Monomyth. Oh, my health bar went down really quick then, didn't it? Chest. Go on, be a lead, be a lead, be a lead. Big oof. Big, big oof. Oh. Skill scroll, quick click. So this is the one-time use of scroll that allows you to use quick click ability. Take that one, it's another thing for the sticker book. And then we'll have a little look, see can we find something else. So this starts in... So we're on 340, and just doing these get you the points quite quick. So what we can then do is see if they will follow the... Go to like the essentially the big area to go to the main boss. Main boss looks like it's dead already though, in this area. I hope, I'm going to see if they go for this boss. If they go for this boss, that'll be helpful because we can then still get things. We've also got another buff, by the way, for doing this. We've now got the valued mark. So magic and stamina regions increased by 25%, which is that's a huge, huge boost. That is. But no, with the monomyth is very good. Still going to be like one of the meta sets for PvP. Because Major Force is just fantastic. Greatness, I've just paid 90k for gold for that proficient ingredient you just left behind.
That was it, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
I'll go grab it. I end up with so much junk in my inventory that I then have to organise. Oh, no, should not go that way. That way's bad. I'm assuming that was the ingredient. Looked like they're going up there, so I'll check up there quickly.
Chance to recover.
And hopefully they were, we can catch them on. Oh yes, I see them. Great. But if you can get a group like this and just follow them around, it really helps. I also like that when you get the buffs in this area for like beating the bosses, the buff stays on you even if you die. And that's a really nice thing, because lots of the time they don't. Zap, 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 zap. Oh. If you don't know, that like red circle one is like just don't stack. You die very quick if you do that. Try to sit with the healers. I do really think they've done a good job with this. As an area, this place is fantastic. Like, there's so much to do. Oh, bugger. What I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to switch out Pale Order and put on the good old Deadly again. And then I want to see, now that we've got a group with us, like, is it going to be easier to actually heal? Because earlier I was having to rely on a lot of my own healing. Come on, please be good. No. We'll take that. That's just a treasure item. Skizzles, love it. What a name. We'll put on Deadly and put them back on Fluffy. Because we can obviously follow these people. There's people healing here, which hopefully should be a lot. Because when I was doing it by myself, not that much. And then yeah, if there's a group like this, we can actually like focus on healing. Oh.
I do believe we're good at this.
Oh, crow man. Got a mark on me, so I'll move away from that. I am. Yeah, when you get the mark, you like try and move away so you don't get in the group. Because you will not be popular if you do that. I can tell you that much. This one's much easier to kill, isn't he? Yeah, I'm curious what you guys think of like this mode and kind of where Zos Zenimax this year in particular, like taking ESO. Need to move away from the group. There we go. But do you think that Zos are like, kind of going in the right direction at once? Yeah, this should hopefully be the last bit before he does the little thing again. Level 5 faction. Gold, another one of those. And a Dr. Bow. I really want that. Because I think that the change, if you look at what they've done this year in the ESO, they've reworked the Dragonite entirely, and to be fair, the Dragonite was in a really bad place. Like it was, PvE wasn't particularly good. PvP, it was very lackluster, and you never subclassed into any of the skill lines because every skill line was pretty bad. And then they've obviously reworked that, which I think is a great choice. And then they've then, in the same mix, like in the same year, they've reworked the two-handed skill line. They have then gone and they've also then reworked the werewolf, which is coming next patch. They've added the class masteries to address the whole subclassing feels OP. There's no build awesomeness. And so it feels like to me, and I could be wrong here, it feels like to me they are trying to move in the right direction. And like I've made a video recently, you might have seen it on the channel, like kind of why I do think this is one of the best times to come back. Like if you've played ESO before and you're on the fence, you're going like, is it good? Has it actually gotten better? Is the lag better? Is the performance better? What about balance? What about like build variety and stuff? All of those things they're going in the right direction, every single one. Is it perfect? No, but the developers are listening and they're changing stuff, and that rework on the DK really helped sell me. And this like this new leadership team, since Microsoft has like bought them and they've given them a bit more freedom, these past two patches have been like absolutely banging. Like really good. Because last patch we got the DK, which was fantastic. Like everybody pretty much universally likes the DK. Is it maybe a bit OP? Yes, but if they do this to all classes, then every class is going to feel good. Let me grab that one quick. Sorry, this is fun. So like, I do think they've got a lot. Oh, he's a werewolf too. Okay, this does feel pretty fun as well. Yeah, the werewolf change isn't this, by the way. Like, if it was like this in PvP, I would be quite concerned. Like, this is ridiculous, but in such a fun way. I'm going to lose it though in a moment. No, I've lost my werewolf. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, that was really fun. That was really fun. I've been a giant werewolf and yeah, that's proper badass. And then obviously with the, not only that, you've got the veterancy in the PvP campaign, and yes, Vengeance might not be for everybody, I fully get that. No, I'm not going to be one to go, it's the best solution, it's the worst solution. I think it's a good middle ground, it's a great foundation to build on. And I think, you know, it's going in the right places. It's kind of my take, generally. Oh, look at werewolves see werewolves. How many of them are? There's loads of them. There's loads of them. Johnny was saying in YouTube that he thinks the new leadership is inspiring a bit of hope, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree. I think it seems like whatever's happened recently at ZeniMax and with Bethesda, this new team has been given a lot more freedom to do stuff and to try stuff. And the things they're doing it's cleared, like it's clearly communicated much more than ever before. Need to get to the safe area. You'll literally walk with the werewolf around you, have. So yeah, I just think generally it's going in the right place. And that's my honest take. I've always tried to be very upfront with you guys on the channel to kind of go, this is what I think, and I do think this is one of the best times to come back. There's a lot to do. The game's moving in the right direction. With new classes, like class reworks coming every patch. So every 2-3 months you've got a brand new class being reworked pretty much. New skills, new things to try, plus sets and all that other stuff in the middle. What is there not to like? Oh, we hurt the well finally. And this mythic that on the, like, going back to the video title, we will obviously go in. We'll obviously start going kind of how is it for PvP, but the mythic gives you new builds. Like this item that we're working towards allows us to get builds that we couldn't before. Like, I've always liked status builds and dot builds. Like I've made builds called like the Infector on a Warden before in the past, and that basically focused on stacking dots on somebody and just letting the dots eat them away, and it was really fun. But the issue that you had is that that hits very hard. That hits very hard. The issue that you had is that healing was too strong. The dots, the status effects never did enough damage, and so it wasn't always viable. Whereas like this mythic allows it, and they're trying to build fun things into the game with the skill reworks, the new items, the new mythics, the new things. It's just going in the better place. Down, Luna, down. My cat decided to jump on my chair. Literally, she's like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing, Luna? You can't see my cat, but yeah, she's just jumped on my chair and tried to claw on the back of it, which is fantastic. It was cute the first time, and she's now jumping over my keyboard. I'm gonna blame the cat if I die. Where are we with this stuff? Yeah. Okay. Oh, she's doing it again. Holy. It's literally she's now gone. God, sorry. God, I can't multitask, as you can probably tell. Grace says, have you noticed that the game is being transformed into more of an easy mode for new players? For instance, subclass and hybridization wasn't necessary, it killed class identity, and now they want to fix some by some extent by adding class passives. I don't think it's gone to like try and cater for the easy builds and easy players. I think what subclassing aims to do is give people more agency, and by that I mean more choice of what they want. If you think of Skyrim or Oblivion, I love Oblivion, Morrowind, fantastic game, like so good for build creation. And in all those games, your character was never limited by the class it picked. Yes, you might have picked like a spell sword, for example, if you're going back to Oblivion, or like Morrowind, which is cool. But you could level up every skill, you can learn any spell, you could use any set. But you had choices, there was no like fixed, oh you did this, now you're locked out of it forever. That never happened. And then you also have the other added part that if you make a character, some people get quite attached to them. And if you like really like your character and you go, actually I like how they look, I like how they feel, I like the story, I put all that time into them. If you can't use that, then you're kind of like, I don't know, you feel like you haven't really got anything out of it. Oh,
That's quite valuable, isn't
just let my cat outside because she is going mad. Oh, sorry. That's the way. Sorry about that. That might have been quite a big bang. I just went to shut the door and the wind just took it. Where did the people go? Oh, did he go this way? Yeah, so I was saying, like, with the whole, is the game like getting easier and stuff? And like, are they catering for casuals? I don't think subclassing was meant for that. It was meant to give people more choice. And it, in some ways, it gave people a lot more choice and it just identified the power and balance of some classes and some skills. And when you can stack them together, it just made it like really. Oh, there's a daily there. I'll grab that in a sec. I'm just getting rid of some stuff that I don't need because I'm very, very low on space. There you go. Yeah, and so my feeling is that I don't think they were trying to make the game more casual friendly. They're just trying to make the game more creative. Yeah, I keep forgetting to pick them up. The little splinter things. Where is it? Do-do-do. Oh, got a lead, got a lead, got a lead, got a lead. Okay, that's 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5. Go on. I've another splinter. 2 out of 5, we will take that. I'll take the ink to... I remember when this stuff was like 50k a piece when it first came out. Where did those people go? Oh, they went this way. Did they go this way? No. They went that way. Oh, they've gone to do spider popping. Grace on Twitch is saying subclassing is more of a marketing move to attract new players, in their opinion. I think it was in part. I'm not going to deny that for a minute. I think it's a new shiny thing. It lets you play exactly how you want. We're going to follow these people because they are killing pretty efficiently. Hopefully we can get another lead or 2. It is very late though. But yeah, with the subclassing, I think it was a cool idea. I like the choices. I just think that it needed a bit more refinement in some ways, and they've learnt that. So, you know, credit where credit's due. They have like tried to they've tried to do things to try and make it more accessible, more fun, and can't really blame them for that. And then when it hasn't hit the mark, they've pivoted. They've added class masteries, and it's worth noting that like with a lot of the development of the game, things are done like 2-3 years in advance. So this whole class mastery stuff has been in the works for a couple of years. It's not just been, they've just started doing it. And so like with that in mind, you've now got, like you've got kind of essentially the old dev team's work, and from the leadership and stuff, their fingerprints are on some of these like changes. And then this newer stuff that we're getting from like season 0, it's this new dev team where they've been given a bit more freedom, it seems, to pivot. And in turn are reacting much more to what we want. So I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that they are going to continue on this trajectory. That's my kind of hope. I think Grace's point generally at their own Twitch is like it loses class identity with the subclass, and it does. But the masteries help get that back. And some of the masteries are like really good for PvP. Like the sorcerer stuff is incredibly strong. Like you've got one, I showed it on stream the other night, where basically any skill action you do heals you with blood magic. Like you break free, you get a 1500 heal. You use a skill, 1500 heal. You roll 1500 skill. You bash, 1500 heal. And that's in PvP. It was healing 1500 to 2000 crits. Don't have enough things to use the grapple yet. So annoying. Let's see where they are going. That one. Missing persons. Yeah, hopefully they're going to do this and we're going to get some more goodies. We just need a few more splinters as well. I think we've got some of the relics sorted out then. But yeah, I just think, you know, the game, it feels like it's in the right direction, and that rework on DK was fantastic. Grace says, I bet there will be nerfs to of class passives and infinite archive sets. They seem to be too strong, I reckon. I've used them a lot on PTS, and again, this is a focus from a PvP stance. Like, you know, this is what I do. I love PvP. They're strong. They are strong. But are they as strong as using a subclass build? Some instances yes, in some instances no. The passive needs to be strong enough, and it's a really difficult balancing act where those passives allow the base class to get enough power off the meta subclass build. That's essentially what you're after. So if you think of a PvE DPS, you want your build to have as much power as... So before lead. Oh well. You want your build to have as much power as... Sorry, I can't wait. As much power as the meta subclass build. So if you think like Nightblade, Arcanist, Beam build on any base class, if it's pushing 150k DPS, your base class pure build needs to have that level of DPS too. And so they need to find a way to buff the damage of the pure class without buffing the subclass builds, and the masteries is a good solution to it, because it allows them to increase those to such a strength where they are really good, which then makes you go, do I need to do this? And maybe the answer is yes, because maybe you like the skill, maybe you like Beam. Arcanist Beam is very fun to use, it's very easy to use. But you might go, actually, I want to have a good enough stuff. Grayscale, there are PTS Sorks passes of 200k. Yeah, there are, but a lot of those use that static reverberation, which is very, very strong, and that's been nerfed already. But what they can do with those passes, though, for like these class masteries, to go, well, that's too strong. They can just nerf that one thing, and if you nerf the mastery bit, you nerf the DPS, or you nerf that playstyle on that pure build. You just adjust it around the edges until you get to roughly what most people are doing on a subclass build. And then when they come to rework the classes, they're going to give those masteries a second pass to again go, this is how close we can keep the balance. And will it be perfect all the time? No. It's like be dismissive. It's an MMO. I don't think I know of any MMO where there has not been a period where something has been really strong and everybody flocks to it, and then not that long down the road it gets nerfed into oblivion, and the cycle repeats. It happened in New World, Ashes, when they had Ashes. It happens in World of Warcraft. Every MMO goes through this phase, and it is like it's the ebb and flow of playing an MMO. Some patches your things are like really, really OP. Now, I remember when Warden, that's a magical Warden this is, had the deep fissure that stunned people, which is fantastic. You had the Soul Assault, which you couldn't really dodge roll that thing before they nerfed it. And you had Cliff Racer, which you couldn't dodge, even if you rolled, it still hit you. And so you could literally like go up to somebody, do Cliff Racer, Deep Fissure, Cliff Racer, Soul Assault, and they die. And you couldn't dodge it. It was undodgeable. And then they've nerfed that, and that doesn't happen anymore. But back then, as a Warden player, I loved it. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is so much fun. Harness Magical Warden. So you had the I can't remember what it's called now. It's the skill that was from the light armor, that shield. It was the morph that basically gave you resources back when you took damage, and it basically became a free shield. It was really strong. And so, like, my point is with the subclassing and the masteries and stuff, there's going to be imbalance. There's going to be things not quite perfect. But, you know, touch wood, they might get to a good place where things are going to be more equal. And there should be things that are stronger and weaker. The difference is about how much of it is, and is it that it's stronger in all situations or in specific ones? And I think specific situations are fine. Breakness says, I'm looking forward to your Shattered Path build. I'm starting with the Mythic, Threads of War, and Ultimate Gen. Still working on it. Threads of War is very good with it. Very, very good. You have a lot of people using that, which is, it makes sense. Let's see which way the people went. Did they go this way? Attacking. They went this way. I'm going to probably use Dragakin's Grip with it, because it will have the same kind of work as the heavy attack mythic, the Void Mantle set. So there's a mythic in that you can get. It's like some Void Mantle. It is. It begins with R. There it is. I've got this here. So increase your non-damaged heavies, alt heavies by 50%. It is a huge DPS boost for heavy attack builds. Now, the way in which these kind of percent things work, yes, they apply at the end and then can be multiple typically, but some of them apply at the base. And when they apply at the base, they then get multiplied, and that then gets multiplied with the boosts. So that 50% on that mythic there, for example, that I just showed, that Void Mantle set, it increases your heavies by 50%. But if you're somebody who like goes, oh, well, maybe I could buff my heavy attacks using Sergeant's Mail, and then use this set then boosts that Sergeant's Mail's boost by 50% on top, which is obviously what I did in PvP for my heavy attack build. And this set has a similar, the mythic item after, the Signet Shared Pain, I think it's called, it has a similar like scaling. So if you use like Dragakin's Grip with it, you boost your statuses by 330, which is a huge boost to those, making them being pretty nasty, and then boost them by another like 80% on top. And 80% of 330, and with like the base, it just becomes really nasty. So I think Dragakin's going to be a really, really good set for it. And another question is, and I need to do some testing, is it better to use Threads of War for the thing, or is it better to go down the route, oh, it's back again, or is it better to go down the route of maybe a penetration set and using something along the lines of Shattered Fate, because that's quite good. So I think there's a lot of choices that you can do with it. and that's what I'm looking for. Gray says he's not a PvP player, but PvP, PvE, so I can't give you any feedback on that on PvP. No, I get that. I think that even though you might not do PvP, giving feedback is still valid, because in some ways you have very useful feedback as to like, why don't you PvP? Is it because your base class isn't that accessible in PvP? It's not that viable. It dies too quick, or doesn't do enough damage, or doesn't play how you think. So I still think you've got a valid point. But yeah, this Mythic, I think, will be going to be one of the meta sets for a while. I think people are going to not realise how powerful this actually is. And I've been doing a lot of testing. It is very disgusting. Because if you think of the status effects you can proc, you go, okay, Vratishan Destro, that applies Burning Shield Concussed with Weakness to Elements, and it applies it consistently, all of the time. You could then use something like the Perfected the Perfected Staff, the Asylum one, that every third hit or False Pulse applies Burning Shield Concussion, which is 3 status effects that tick instantly, and then that's just going to give you a big like boost to your spammable damage, which is insane. You could then obviously use like double dot poison, so you've got poison, burning, shield, concussion, very easy in the build as it is. If you go down to like the subclassing route, scribing route, you could go with the Bloody Soul and use like blood, so you get hemorrhaging easily. Hey, Swift Gale's earned finally. And a lead! Oh, wrong lead. That is a game trying to annoy me, isn't it? Trade bars, I take that. Yeah, well, we've got a thing now. Beat the Horde, mother. Okay, we'll try this one now. I think once this one's dead, I might call it here, just because it's midnight where I am. But I will try and jump on later in the week, maybe do a midweek stream just to kind of showcase this. And I'm going to make a video if people haven't like subscribed already to kind of break down this area, because I think there's a lot of cool mechanics. There's a lot to really unpack. And I feel like actually I quite like this as a place, so I'd like to see this come back, personally. I would love this size, on a side note, for PvP. If they took this size map, yeah, and made like a mini Cyrodiil, it's like if you had like this size map, you had like keep here, keep here, keep here, and then like a central objective, and then you had like 2 small ones on the sides here, like resources or something. And it was like 20v20v20, yeah? I reckon that'd be quite fun. Like 24v24v24. Breaknet says, does it prevent you getting duplicate leads if you learn them? Yes. You can get duplicate leads if you start digging it up. So you do not want to use them at all until you get all of them. I killed the brood thing. She didn't drop anything, that's annoying. I want to get one more lead. Like, I want to get one more lead, then I feel like I've done halfway, done half the grind. So if you see here, we've got this one, and we've got this one. We need 3 left to get this beautiful Mythic. Increases the damage of status effects by 1% for every 1 ult you have, up to 170. Both the current and maximum damage is halved against players. So basically it's like an 85% damage boost on your status effects. And then if you build into certain classes like the Arcanist, You got this one here. So this is a 15% boost. You got a 55% increased chance of status effects, and you can use like the warden if you want to go down the ice route. So like you could do, for me, my thinking was using Herald of the Tome and making an ice themed warden with status effects. That's kind of where I'm going with the build. So I'm going down the route of using Tentacular Dread, which is an ice skill. Going down and using the Master's Ice Staff, because you get Ice Reach, which is always chilled on cast, which is a huge free hit. Weakness to Elements, Burn and Chilled Concussion, just 3 dots there. And I reckon you could get like a really cool Frost status build. And then with the Warden having access to like Animal Companion, you've got Cut and Dive, which has Hemorrhage. So you can proc Bleed on it. So you'd have like a Burn and Chilled Concussion, Bleed, bonus to the Ice if you keep the armor one in it. So that's my thinking. Like you get some really cool stuff with it. And because the Ice staff, Destructive Touch, this has actual spammable scale. This is like one of the few elements that do. So this would be like single target spammable damage with the dot on top. So you could get some really cool things. I want to burn the spider. I don't want to see the woman. There you go, we burn it. We burn it. Prey says, what's up? Yeah, I'm alright, mate. We are trying to farm the new Mythic. It's very cool. Very, very cool. I think you can do a lot with it. Just takes some time to get. But we've got 2 out of the 5. So, you know, we've been on stream for what's it? 2 hours? 2.5, 3 hours roughly? And in that time we've got like 2 leads, which, bear in mind, they can be quite hard to get. You know what, it's not too bad. Hey, we've got Flame Aura. Burn the little spiders. We're doing like 10k fire damage around us. These little mechanics are awesome. So we're just killing bosses, trying to get more leads. Whilst this group's going, I'm going to probably stick on a little bit longer than I probably would normally. Just because I want to try and get the Mythic. But yeah, that's my thinking with it. Go down the Frost Warden route. So rather than go down like the Sorcerer and use that, I want to have a ranged build. I reckon like Warden gets so much out of it. And with Warden being like an ice class, Tentacular Dread will become your burst skill. So I probably would, and it's going to sound a bit silly, use the... I'd use an Arcanist base class rather than a Warden. And the reason I'd do that is because we'll be able to use the class Mastery or the class Flourish next patch to get a Crux Generator skill that's ice damage. So we use like Chidden Soul if you wanted. So we have like Chidden Soul with class Mastery. So if you want a spammable that's ice and generate Crux, we could do that, which is an option. So there's definitely lots of like things we could do with this. But I think it looks like people are going to shoot. I'm going to shoot in a sec, I reckon. Just really quick, if you'd like to see what the Mythic does, I can log on to the PTS quick and just kind of show you it really fast. It won't take long to do. Or I can kind of like wait till the actual build comes out. So if you go like, I actually want to see it on the PTS quickly, I can do that. But I'm just going to do a quick check and see if anything's active. We're waiting for that one to come. Just gonna just check it, just see did anybody get in there because we got so close to killing it last time. I picked up the other one. I'm desperately trying to stay alive. Oops. So trying to stay alive. Don't think there's anybody in there. I'll just check if there's other people in here. Nah. So in this one, you have to spend your whole time like trying to stay alive and kill the sacks, but deal with all this poison damage, which isn't too hard if you build around for it. We are killing it pretty well, actually. And we don't have Pale Order either. If you have Pale Order, they'd be way easier to survive. The poison's now getting real. Yeah, there it was. The poison kind of sped up quite quick at the end. What I'm going to do really quick, I just think just for, because I like to kind of round it off, I want to show just briefly what it looks like on PTS, but also how you might use it with some masteries to kind of give a bit of a heads up for next patch if you do go down the route of farming this, because this is a limited timed event, which means this mythic is only available for a short window. They will add it later on, they have said this already, but that means there'll be most likely some kind of interim period where you can't get this easily, and well, if everybody's going to run it, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So I'm going to kind of just hop onto the PTS really quick and just show you how you may want to use it. Just look at some of the masteries quick. Whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to just leave that in the background while I quickly switch over. And yeah, I think the night market has a lot going for it. And if you've just joined, we've been farming the new mythic, the like shattered path signet. It basically increases status effects. Pretty cool. We've got 2 out of 5 leads already, which is a great start. We've only been doing like 2-3 hours. And then we're going to hop onto the PTS really quickly just to kind of look at the mythic, so you can fully see it in its like entirety and how you may want to use it on just other builds really. So I'm loading the PTS quickly. This will be week 3 PTS. So what that means is most of the stuff you see is generally there. It's not, other than a few number adjustments, it's kind of going to release like this typically at this point. So I'm going to make the warden just show you where my thinking was going. So I'll start as a base class warden initially because there's a reason for that. And my warden is actually a Breton. And if you've never seen the PTS, it's quite a cool place. You can access all of the sets. You can access like all the skills. And it's just a really easy place to make builds and just see what actually works. without having to like do the big gold investment. And when you make videos a lot and builds, you kind of get a good idea of what works, what won't work, and the kind of numbers you're going to aim for. Okay, so the PTS is theory. So I'm on the PTS. Everything from this point onwards is like just testing footage. And all I want to do is just kind of give you an idea of what I was thinking for, well, just essentially what I was thinking for like next patch. And with this mythic item, okay? Kind of why I want this. Epoch in Twitch says he thinks DK could also learn and benefit a lot from this mythic, which I do think. With their fire and disease boost, mainly fire now, you could get a lot on burning. It does a lot of damage. I was wanting to go warden because I haven't done an ice warden in quite some time. So said we're on the PTS. Just literally spend probably 5-10 minutes showing what I'm thinking. Again, it's not finished. I will obviously make a full video and it'll be out for members early, like always. Okay, so the mythic in question, I think they put it in. These are just some new ones that are coming. This is new mythic. You notice this one, oh, she can't enchant. I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's Prowler's Talisman. So while Battle Spirit is inactive, bracing while crouching turns you invisible for 10 seconds. Increases pickpocket, undealing critical hit increases. So basically, it's like a PvE one, but you can't enchant it. So it's got some like unique stuff here. But we are looking for the armor sets. I wonder if they've moved into the right place now. Might be in other. There it is. Yep. So this is the mythic in question. This is what we're after, okay? So I'm going to show you like just the damage boost because it's quite a big damage boost. We just put on Destructive Touch. It applies the burn and status effect. So we can just show this really quickly with just this, okay? To do that, it's like 736, I think it is. Yeah, so 736 was the without it. If I track it on, and I'll get 500 ult quick. I just show like how much of a difference it makes. And obviously, yes, this is a PvE, but it'll be halved. But it scales quite generously. So it's doing 1800 now. So the actual dot went from 700 to 1800. It pretty much got doubled and a little bit, which is a huge increase. And then when you then start to think about some of the class passives, now we look at the Warden's one, you got this increases the status effects of Chill by 238, which is a flat boost. If you then use like an ice one, so let's change this to an ice staff quickly. Doesn't matter what it is, we'll grab something though. So you could do something like charged or sharpened. Probably go charged for this. And this is what I'm thinking. Like my thinking is something like this. And so I'm gonna show you just with the ice dot first. So 866, 1437, and that initial bit is like 2000. So the ice dot is like 2700. Now 5200 is the actual hit. And then when you like go, okay, well, what if we then put on the silent one and actually use false pulse? Because false shock can apply all of this. And then I would go with False Pulse because it's got this AoE, so this becomes a really good spammable now. So rather than not doing a lot of people do melee builds, my thinking is something like this. So you go down, cut and dive. This applies bleed damage and a dot on them, a bleed dot, which will proc hemorrhaging because we've got. If you did this, yeah, that's already got hemorrhaging on them. And if you use something like the Serpent's Disdain, that will now last 20 seconds, that bleed. And that's 2,200, that's what the bleed is there, because the dot is very little. And then you can then do crazy stuff. This is where my mind's going with it all. Where like double dot poisons, so you got poison. You then have bleeds, you got burning, chill, concussion, poison, bleed, already on it straight away. And that's just with 2 skills. And you literally just do this. So this would be like your normal thing, but instead of using the masters, if you switch it to the False Pulse, you can then proc the Asylum thing, which is absolutely disgusting. So every second cast will always apply burning, chill, concussion. And you can literally get your status effects to proc like crazy with this. Like, I don't even have a proper build yet. And you breakness. What about weakness to elements? So he's thinking element of susceptibility. You could issue that. So this would almost be like spammable damage potentially if you build it right. So if you want, let me put my add-ons on. I've turned them off because when I use them for like content, you can't actually use gameplay of add-ons on if you do like videos for Bethesda and stuff, which I found out recently. But if I show you how much of an increase, it sounds silly, but how much of an increase this has. So if I just do this, let's see max. Okay, chill's doing 3k, yeah. So now, if I save that and go, I'm gonna now put on Dragon's Grip. This is the set I'm thinking of, yeah. A lot of people are saying Threads of War. So if I go with, it's a dungeon set if I recall, and it's gonna be a bit annoying to farm because of what you want to get to maximize damage and stats and defense and stuff. You need a lot of jewelry for this. It's a DLC dungeon set, isn't it? Base game. When it gets late, you end up getting lots of like, just lots of like text blindness. I don't know if other people get it, but when it's late, I do get that very badly. Fast, and there it is. It's a Dragon's Grip increases every damage by 330. Okay, so what does that actually mean for like this kind of build? So we'd want a sash. And you ideally want to keep the Asylum weapon on if you can, because it's going to make quite a big difference. Where is armor? There it is. So I'm literally just chuck on some of the armor, okay? But we've got 3 of those. Now I'm gonna put on this, yeah. So I'm gonna should do it without, just so you can see that'll be without. Okay. Now I'm gonna put on the 5-piece this time, okay? Wait. So we went from, let's look for something that didn't crit. So Burning didn't crit, yeah? And Burning didn't crit. So Burning down here did 2,263. It now did 3,200. So that is is literally 1,000 extra damage, but this set, Dragon, is meant to do 330 extra. And what's happened is this applies to the base, and then this is applied at the end of the damage calculation, which then boosts this further. So Dragon's grip with just this mythic makes this mythic go on steroids. It's super broken as a combo. And if you can get lots of status effects in your build, you're going to have a very, very good time. And like, do you have to do this on a warden? The answer is no. But if you do it with a warden and the mastery's next patch, you then have this fantastic one called Wild Adaptation. Gain 330 weapon and spell damage for each status effect on the target. Up to 1600 weapon damage. So with this current build, just for like, we got Burn and Shield Concussion, that's 3 already there, plus Hemorrhaging, that's 4 instantly on there. This is almost maxed already. We're getting almost like an extra 1200 weapon and spell damage on our stuff just for free from using like, which will make this hit even harder. So like, if I put this on now, and again you got to bear in mind we have like no stuff, like we haven't done our build properly, but it just shows you how hard these things can stack. And then if I start like doing my DPS, you can just see like huge chunks coming off it. So like, and against a player, you just add in a bit of sustain, and you'll hit really, really hard. Like Chill's doing 8k. Now obviously that'd be halved in PvP to 4k, and then you normally lose about 70%. But it's going to be hitting people about 2,000-3,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got 3 of them hitting at once, plus you're spammable, you're going to be doing huge chunks of damage. So that's kind of where I'm thinking of going with this. That going as a warden base class, we get access to this awesome mastery here. This is fantastic. Like this is so good for this kind of like playstyle. You then obviously have access to the bleed at range, which is super nice. You then also got access to magic damage, which is another status effect. And fetch infection is quite a good one. It's really hard. You get access to major minor breach, very good. The healing on warden isn't bad either. It's got pretty decent healing. So the only thing, like only status effect you're now missing is disease. Which, if you're really like fast, I want to get a disease in the build, you could scribe the skill and go for like something lingering torment and go disease on that, like diseasing soul. So if I quickly make that and just show you like how easy it is to stack these things. And so a lot of people are going down the route of we have to have this all in melee range. And I'm kind of going, but why would we do that? Like surely we could get the same effect at range and it will make it easier to play, is my thinking. So we went like Willed Soul, Disease damage, and then Lingering Torment. And then we can go like anything we want. Defile. This hits them with Major Minor Defile, because this can proc Major Defile. This can proc Minor Defile. This major here, this can proc minor, sorry. It's got Major Minor Defile here, which is fantastic. And then if we did get like Serpent's Disdain, and I wouldn't normally recommend Serpent's Disdain, but you turn this into a dot build by doing it this way around. I think it's a crafter set as well, which makes it even easier to get. But this is where my idea is going. Well, I wonder what you guys think of it. Do you think it's a cool idea? I'm going to quickly just check where Serpents comes from. I always forget. It's from my Isle. Grab that quickly. I'll just go for like medium. Because again, this will boost all of your actual raw damage. And then what we can then do with Dragonkin is that we can mess around with this. So I'd probably put on the serpents on the back bar and put all my dots on the back bar, which this sounds a bit weird. I'll show you how to do it. We grab these serpents disdain things because the loadout's going to be a bit weird. But you could go with like anything you want. So if you went with like a bow, you're going to hear me out. Bow. Go with bow. Poison injection. And we'll move all the stuff over to here, okay? That we're actually going to use to make this work. We would literally have this, this, this. I think, and shock and soul. I think that's it. So again, it's going to sound really weird. Like our damage bar starts on the back bar, and then we'll switch to the front bar for like our actual damage, and use false bar. So we put all our heals on this front bar, which will look a bit weird, but you'll get the idea. Jason says, "What's the hours played?" Loads is the answer, mate. Like Falcon Swiftness, which Bird of Prey, Betty. You're never starting like this. So the idea is you start on the back bar like this, yeah, buff up. Poison injection. You end up putting all those dots on them. Now, if you actually use that set properly, you'll be able to get this on massively. You could put like a disease glyph on this easily, so you wouldn't have to do that, but you could go any glyph you want. Go, okay, what thing are you missing? Like what status effect? Go with charged, easy to get it. So if you went for like absorb stamina, which is I would get, this is minor breach at range, saundered. This is burning, this is disease. We have this anyway now. Hardening, poison, shock. So I would probably go with the physical. Go for absorb. And we'll quickly just change that to be charged. So we're just showing how you can use this mythic, like the idea that I'm thinking of. You start on the back bar. And you swap bar. You get all those things, and when you swap back, they will just all reset anyway. You can just see like huge chunks of DPS. Massive chunks coming out of it. And like the sustain will be super easy to do. So like with that will proc poison quite easily. And you literally just repeat this while all that dot stuff is behind them. And it'll be so much like consistent damage is the thinking. That's the thinking I'm going with. And obviously with the mastery next patch, you got this lovely one here. So then what we can then do is get even more damage out of it. Now. And it's pretty nasty. And that serpent's the same on both bars. And then if you want to make it even more nasty, if you actually put on the Dragonkin with it. So what happens is Dragonkin's active in the front bar and back bar. Then we start on this back bar. Put on basically all the horrible buffs, yeah. And you just do that, and then you got the Serpent's Disdain now, and the Dragonkin, and that put the DPS from 19k up to 36, just by doing that literal swap. Concussion's hitting 10k, which chill 7k with non-crit, burning 6.5 to 8k, like, and every other cast of that is proccing burn and chill concussion. And you've got all the, like, all of it's just ticking really crazy. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with it, which will be a different way to play, because it's going to be like we're literally sitting at range, just stack dots on somebody, and it's really easy to do. You can start with a heavy attack if you want. And it dies so fast. And you might be thinking, well, what if hemorrhaging ticks up and you're not on the right bar? Does it go from 18 to 3 seconds? So we've got that there. Get hemorrhaging on it quickly. So it's on 18 up here at the moment. It has a small chance to tick and then it goes down to the thing, but when you swap bar, and if it happens to be proc again, you can either charge it up like this, get to the 3 bar, and then switch. And then hemorrhaging just does crazy damage by itself. So that's the idea. And then you can do this like this kind of idea with DK, with DK really. You can also do it with Sorcerer a little bit, and DK, but the range part of it can only be done with Warden. And then obviously if you want to add in like the penetration from Deep Fissure, you can, the front bar. So then you've also got your big hit as well. And what's nice with the Dragonkin is it applies to any damage. So even though it wasn't on when you first casted it, it would suddenly just turn on and activate. And if you're curious like how much of a difference does it actually make, this is 10k without it, 9.3k. Go to Soul Trap, 15k. So it doesn't show on this tool page fully until you're in combat. I think it is. 16k, 17k, and it just ends up going up loads. So I'm going to kind of call it here, though, guys. It's always been a pleasure. If you get any questions about builds, guides, things you're just unsure about, let me know in the comments. If you haven't done so, do like subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot more than you realise. We are really trying to get to that 20k subs, so it'd be really helpful if you can do that. And then if you haven't done so, if you have seen the more recent video, like, do check it out. It really breaks down this new season, what you can expect. There's loads of cool stuff on the way. And I just want to say again, a massive thanks to everybody that's watching and likes what I do. I'll catch you next video or stream. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care and bye.